ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। So Virji has been asking for a while कि इत्थे talk करनी है, we want to have a talk here, and it just happens that none of my Thursdays were free. Last Thursday I was hoping to be here, but then again I was called for work somewhere else. So Marj Kirpa, finally I feel honored to be here in your Sangat, Marj de Darshan vi. So thank you for that opportunity. Before we go into it, some of you were asking, will it be in English, will it be in Punjabi? Can I just get a show of hands if you do not understand Punjabi at all? So you don't understand Punjabi at all? So anyone who doesn't understand English at all? Does that mean I'm speaking in English all the time? Okay, I do love talking in Punjabi as well, so I will be saying few things here and there in Punjabi. But I will try to translate that as well. But if I completely forget about that, so please remind me, hey, I'm here. No, it happens by default. I was saying to you as well, okay, kadi pata nahi lagda apne aap nu. So when I asked Virji, what do you want me to talk about? Virji said, oh, when I go on your page, the first thing I see is forgiveness. So can you talk about forgiveness? And I said, okay, theek hai. So even though that's a long story. So I put that forgiveness on our page because I was preparing few other Panjis to deliver a talk. So I wasn't preparing for that talk, but that meant that I am preparing for that talk. But I'm actually thankful to you because that I learned so much while preparing for this talk as well. So let me start with a little story. So this is a story of a boy who got into some bad company. And you know, it's like every group has some sort of rules and regulations. So he gets into this gangs. And their initiation ceremony of that gang was to murder someone. Okay? If you go and murder someone, that means you are formally part of our gang. And he's a young boy, doesn't know rights, wrongs, or is not interested. All he wants is to be part of that gang. Okay? That's his life. So he does that. He goes and murders a young boy like him. Then he is in a court, the trial is happening, he is sentenced for a long sentence. So as soon as the judge announces the sentence, the cops are now handcuffed him, taking him to the prison. When he is leaving that place, a woman stands up and she shouts, I'm going to kill you. She shouts at the boy, I'm going to kill you. And he leaves. So who was that woman? Yeah, the boy who was murdered, his mother. And then she kills him. And I'll tell you at the end how. Ask me at the end. Okay? So before we go any further, you have papers and pens. I like you define forgiveness. How does forgiveness is defined based on your understanding? You can draw, you can dots, you can write, you can put words. I'm not seeking after perfection. I'm just seeking your heart out, basically. So for forgiveness, for me, this is what forgiveness is. Paji, ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ paper ਦੇ ਦਿਓ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ. So just couple of minutes maybe. So asking yourself, you can put a definition or you can simply put how you might have experienced forgiveness in your life. So anything. And if for any reason you want to keep it private, that's absolutely fine as well. So keep your heart fully open when you express that. जो तुसी अपना express करोगे पूरे दिल खोल के करो ताकि तुहानू पता लग जाए exactly कि की हैगा. I have got pen, but you have pen? So ਇੱਧਰ ਵੀ ਲਿਆਓ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ ਭਾਜੀ ਦੋ ਚਾਰ. I'll pass it on the papers. Pen ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ. I'm on there. Would you pass it? Take one, pass one. So anyone who has already expressed it, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਲਿਖ ਲਿਆ already? ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਚ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਚ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਲਿਖੋ. ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭੈਣ ਜੀ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਧੱਕਾ ਨਹੀਂ. ਜੇ if you feel comfortable. ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ.
Letting go of the wrong done to you so that you are at peace.
Okay.
So that you are not holding any energy.
Okay. Okay. Shall we go home?
No, I don't think that's it.
No, you have expressed it so beautifully. That's what I mean. You have done my session.
Express it, but it's much harder to do it.
Yeah. Much Kirpa, we will talk about that. Hanji.
Just echoing what Benji said, I would say I would decide from my definition, letting go or detaching from a traumatic experience.
Okay.
So a bad experience, whichever.
ਅੱਗੇ ਬੈਠ ਜਾਓ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਆ. So ਇੱਥੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ. Anybody else? So when one person talks, it will be really nice if we all can hear them, because there's all gems coming out. So because who knows what you're going to learn. So Penji.
Forgiveness is allowing your heart to be at peace, but sometimes the feelings get the better of you.
Okay. Yeah. Hanji.
I think freedom is like I think forgiveness is freedom, because it's actually releasing yourself from that pain that you hold against them. But it's not forgetting what they did, but it's about releasing yourself from that pain.
Right.
So I think it's freedom.
Okay. Beautiful things coming out. Hanji. Love. Okay. Hanji.
Accepting they were in pain themselves.
Accepting that you are in pain.
That they were in pain themselves.
Oh, okay. Okay. Beautiful. Thinking of other person. Right. Any more? Hanji.
I'll just put something along those. Let go of your ego.
Okay.
Because someone's actions are not always about you. So we're all flawed. So it's so much easier for your soul to forgive and move on.
Thank you. Hanji.
I think forgiveness is basically when someone has made a mistake and you move on. It's like about moving on and not holding a grudge.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So while we were waiting, kids put these questions here. One of the questions I really liked was, how many times have you shown forgiveness today? So you don't need to answer that, but it really hit me when I saw this question. So this is not my question, but just kids, yeah, thank you to you guys. So they put it here, that how many times have you shown forgiveness today? So just a self-reflection before we go further into it, that either you seeked forgiveness because of something that you did, that you felt I shouldn't have done, or you forgiven someone. And it doesn't need to be big trauma and then you've forgiven someone. It could be simple that kuch bhi ho sakta hai. And you know what, saying I'm sorry is not always forgiveness. ਇਹ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਕਦੀ ਕਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰੀ, but does that actually really mean forgiveness? So it has become thank you and sorry in this country particularly is a good words, has become like ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ how are you, what's up kind of thing. ਪਰ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਖੜ ਗਿਆ ਉੱਥੇ, if somebody really stands with you and they start telling you about their story, you're going to say ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ how are you. I don't mean to listen to your suffering and dukh, right? You're not prepared to hear people out. So it has become more like a ritual. So ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ will try to understand what actually this means. So thank you for sharing that. So I put some definitions here so you can read. It means definitely different things to different people. But it involves an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger. So that it involves that. The act that hurt or offended you might always be with you. Jida tusi kya siga ke that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to forget about that or it's okay. but working on forgiveness can lessen that act's grip on you. So something is holding you very tight. Yeah. So it's very tight and not letting you be free and live your life, or is it थोड़ा सा loose हो गया? ठीक है? So let's understanding further. So we'll first understand what forgiveness is. Forgiveness means this, doesn't mean that. So decision to overcome pain, that's your decision, by the way. Forgiveness is always a choice. Forgiveness cannot be forced. If I say to you, forgive other people because I am saying it, that is not forgiveness. Or somebody else is forcing you. Okay. Letting go of all the emotions related to it, even though they're valid emotions. Nobody is saying to you that feeling angry or feeling sad or feeling depressed is wrong. They're valid emotions. And when forgiveness is such a deep topic, it could be something somebody spilled your water to people of sexual abuse. If I say to somebody whose life is completely destroyed and damaged because of an act of offender, I say to them, forgive them, have I got the right to say to them? Pani dol gaya, I can say to you, कि चल कोई गल नहीं. But वो भी तो choice है. Even if somebody does that, it's completely your choice, and it's the self-work we are talking about, and not talking about other people necessarily today. And treating others with compassion, even though they're not entitled, because otherwise the next question will be, but they're not entitled, but they have done wrong things to me. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you are necessarily returning to that relationship. Again, that's your choice. Forgiveness doesn't necessarily force you to do that, the act of forgiveness. It doesn't necessarily force you to forget. Because if somebody says to you, you have to forget it, how can you forget it? It's a memory. It's some mark or some scar that's always there, always going to be there. But then how you relate with that scar defines how you forgive or not forgive. But we will open that up. So if, say, you have forgiven, that also doesn't mean that you now are comfortable with that person to do the same thing again, or you condone it, or you excuse it. Wrong is wrong. Letting go, but wishing for revenge. So that's the one interesting one. So you say, okay, I've forgiven you. Easy to say, but inside, मतलब मैं कदे वेले देखो बदला लवां. Right? You're wishing for revenge, you're wishing for something bad to happen to them, unintentionally even. Like you're somewhere in your heart is saying, I wish इन्हें मैंने इदा किया सी, इधर नाल भी इदा होए. That is not forgiveness. Even if you are saying you are forgiven, that you have forgiven that person. किते जाने अनजाने भी जे मन च आ रहा है, intentionally, unintentionally, that means the forgiveness is not there. And that's why we will discover that how and why Maharaj spoke so much about forgiveness. Bani inna ज़्यादा forgiveness बारे गल कीती है, कोई गल हैगी ते ताही कीती है ना. So we'll discover that how Maharaj talks about that as well. So, हाँ जी.
Do you know when, for example, we don't wish bad upon others, but then we say karma, so what goes around comes around. So if we obviously have that in our thoughts, well, one day they will see. Even though we're not wishing for bad to happen, what is that then?
Every wishing here.
Is it wishing?
Every wishing here, in my opinion,
Okay.
but I am not here to put my opinions on you. I'm just sharing what my understanding about this subject is. So even if you are thinking कि हम रब देखदा है, इहदे नाल होगा. What if you have already done it and it came back to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if that Rabb dekhda si, and that's why I'm experiencing this now. What if the accounts are being closed now? So does that give me right to then say, look, फिर the cycle चली जाना. And our idea is to break that vicious cycle, isn't it? And if they haven't got the awareness to break that cycle, if Maharaj has given you that awareness, then the time is right now and here. Otherwise, if you wish that will happen again, that will happen again, then do you want to? So in my opinion, that is still that. Haji.
Also, it says forgetting. Like, I get like you can't like forget it, but what about the saying like forgive and forget?
Yeah, who made that saying? That's the thing. So who made that? I exactly understand and know what you mean, that forgive and forget. Maybe you can forget the emotion that's gripping you, but can you forget? If you can forget, forget. It's the next stage. Yeah, but again, I'm not encouraging that, because you will then say to yourself, I can't forget it. Does that mean I haven't forgiven? Yeah, they don't go hand in hand. But good question. They don't go hand in hand. If you can forget, try it out. So we will have little exercise at the end if time allows, and then you can test that out as well. So what are we carrying before forgiveness? So say you don't want to forgive, or you're carrying something before that forgiveness. So I just put few things that came into my mind. Baggage massively. You feel heavy. Something is there with you. You have almost got an invisible, can't say friend, can't say enemy, but an existence with you. Okay? The people. So let's think of a relationship.
Like bad energy or something.
It could be anything. Think of a person who you haven't forgiven. Yeah, I don't want you to think deeply at the moment, because this session otherwise will become very heavy for you. They will linger on you constantly for next hour. But think of something. It could be something simple, right? Somebody to make a cup of tea for you. Tusi ਘਰ ਆਏ, ਘਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾਈ ਜਾਂ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾਈ. Could be something simple, okay? So that thought or that existing or that feeling, that emotion is making you feel heavy. You must have experienced that somewhere. Then there is a bondage. Bondage ke you're constantly thinking about them so much, you're giving them your energy, your time is taken by them. You're almost like bannege jiddaਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਬੰਧਨ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੰਧੇਗੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ almost ਬੰਧਨ 'ਚ ਬੰਧੇਗੇ, and out of that everything has become, now your emotions are binding with them without even you knowing it. And then we get sometimes blind in that as well. Even if that person is doing something good now, they're making you 4 cup of cha, you don't see that. ਹੁਣ ਦਿਖਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ. Why? Because you're blind. All you can see is that what was not done for you, and everything else is now not visible. So ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ mention ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, either with our own ego or expectations, we do act out of blindness. I was trying to put everything with B, but then I failed at the end. But this is my last one, badla. I put in Punjabi.
Bad energy.
Bad energy, yeah, that's a good one. I'll change that. So badla, like revenge, right? And bimari, thank you so much. Can you make a note of that? Bimari and what was that, bad energy? Because I'm delivering this next week as well, so that will help. Bimari and bad energy, yeah. So I should have consulted you already. Yeah. So band energy, exactly. So I have definitely seen that generations after generations in badla, as in revenge, because they did that to my grandparents or my parents, I'm going to take that revenge. And then they teach that to their children as well. Look, don't talk to your chachi, don't talk to your pua, don't talk to your neighbors, because they are such and such and such. And this is a part of revenge. And then actually, you blocked your energy. The more dislikes we have in life, the more blocked our energies are. The more blocked, and if there is any medical person here, hopefully you'll agree with me, the more blocked you are in your flow of energy, the more there is dis-ease. Yeah, you are not easy, and that leads to that disease, what you call bandh energy or bimari or all of that. And a massive mental health issues, depression, stress. I'm not saying these are the only reason, but very soon that leads to those things as well, because you're blocked, your energy flow is not in a balanced measure. Those who do all these kind of things, they will understand. ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਥੋਂ? And now actually there are lots of healers or therapists who are using just one therapy to heal, and that's called forgiveness. Do you know that? There's a lot of research that has taken place all around the world in universities to prove that if you are able to experience forgiveness ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ deeply, you are able to heal yourself. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ forgiveness ਨੂੰ ਕਰ ਲਓ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? So ਬਿਨਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ bondage ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. And we actually, the most precious things that I feel for ourselves are our time, our energy, our health, and our breath, ਜਿਹੜੀ breath ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਸ ਸਾਸ ਸਿਮਰੋ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ, ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਨਾ breath, ਕਿ we are able to use this breath to allow divine to manifest through us, ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਵਰਤਨ. ਪਰ how ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ is going to manifest through us if we have given all this time, energy, breath to that person? ਫਿਰ ਉਹੀ manifest ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਹੋਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏਗਾ? Wherever you put your energy in life, that thing is going to be big for you in life. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ, try it. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਹਾਂਜੀ.
I do like, I'm a great fan of the law of attraction, and I've studied, I watch videos, I like learning about it. I know I'm going to find where it is in the Gurbani, and it makes me understand Sikhi, and like you just said, because where your attention goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
And what I've learned as well is if you focus on yourself, no matter what, forget the world around you, if you focus on yourself, that's what you'll manifest. If I manifest better things by focusing on yourself inside. I know it's in Gurbani, I'd love to find where it is in the Gurbani.
Hanji.
But yeah.
No, thank you for sharing that. 100%. And why don't we experiment it and see what happens? Yeah, if you ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਵੱਡੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਨੈਚੁਰਲੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਏਗਾ, you will feel it. So anything that you focus on, you put your focus on day in, day out, that is a thing which is going to grow and grow for you. It's going to get bigger and bigger for you. If that is a dukh, as in your suffering, it will get bigger. So why do we do, this can lead to so many things. So say somebody is focusing on one thing that they've got in life, one gratitude. They're going to be full in abundance in their life because all they're doing is focusing on that one thing that they have and gratitude and grateful for that. Do you think they're going to have any suffering in their life? ਭਾਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਝੁੱਗੀ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਝੁੱਗੀ ਮਤਲਬ a small house, no car or simple, even if they have very less amount of materialistic things, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਜੋ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨੇ 'ਚ ਨੇ ਨਾ, that means they are in abundance. Yeah, and when they are mentally in abundance, naturally there is abundance for them. Who cares ke what's there in reality or not? Does that make sense? So think carefully where you want to put your time, energy and that flow of energy from now onwards. Okay? ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਪੰਕਤੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਧਿਆਨ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ. Anybody who can't read Gurmukhi? That's okay. I'm not judging or testing you. The reason is that we can then explain accordingly. On purpose, I haven't put the translations here. Any of you use any apps for translations? Yeah, most of you probably use it. So I would suggest that it's good to use apps to begin with, but then start experiencing that. What is Maharaj saying to you directly as well? Holi holi. So a pankti hai ji, khima vihune khap gaye, khuhan lakh asank. ਗਣਤ ਨਾ ਆਵੈ ਕਿਉਂ ਗਣੀ ਖੱਪ ਗੱਪ ਮੂਏ ਬਿਸੰਖ. ਸੋ ਖਿਮਾ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ? ਸੋ if you don't take anything, take this word of Gurmukhi home. Khima means forgiveness. ठीक है? So this word will come again and again now for the rest of the presentation, or rest of talk as well. So khima vihune khap gaye, khuhan lakh sank means without forgiveness, khapna ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ? Absolutely frustrated, chaotic life. Okay, this is Gurbani saying that. Khuhan lakh sank, and they say not one, a sank hunda many, countless. Okay? Many people don't forgive because they think they believe in revenge, or they think, why do I forgive? Other person has done something, and out of their ego, they live their life like this, they die like this as well. ਗਣਤ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਗਣੀ ਖੱਪ ਖੱਪ ਮੂਏ ਬਿਸੰਖ. ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ can't even count it. ਖੱਪ ਖੱਪ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਬੈਟਰ ਵਰਡ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦਾ ਖਪਨ ਦਾ? Suffer is the word, but like suffer ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ. It's like even bigger than suffering. You know, like you might see somebody who is like really agitated, frustrated,
thinking continuously.
Yeah, constantly, like they are not themselves. ठीक है? हाँ जी? हाँ, कह सकते हैं. So ਇਹ situation है. So if one of you ask me, why do we even need to discuss this topic, forgiveness? Why is it important? है ना? So Maharaj is giving us an answer. because I might not have experienced forgiveness 100% myself. So that doesn't give me right to teach you or lecture at you in any way. But we can all learn from Guru Sahib, है ना? ये महाराज की कहते हैं. So ਅੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਖਸਮ ਪਛਾਣੈ ਆਪਣਾ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹੈ ਬੰਦ ਨਾ ਪਾਏ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਮਹਿਲੀ ਖਰਾ ਤੂੰ ਖਿਮਾ ਸੱਚ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਏ. So once you recognize your khasam means your husband Lord, as in Vaheguru for us. Khulla band na paye means all your energies khul gayi hun. You're not in any bondage anymore. How beautiful is that, right? So what we were discussing already. Shabd mehli khara tu, khara hunda hai the true, not the fake one, but the real one. Khima sach sukh paye. Khima again forgiveness. So through that forgiveness, through the act of forgiveness, through living like that, you create that state of such, that truth. And Shabad Mehli Khara Tu, matlab ke you are now standing true in the dar, in the court of Lord. So whether that is, anybody can think some physical state or your own heart, where you can sleep peacefully, isn't it? Isn't that such a big gift? Okay, look, I'm not carrying any baggage. So let's go further into it. There are 3 types of people when it comes to forgiveness. There could be more, but I put 3 here today. The first one is, okay, I couldn't find a better word, so I put monsters. So monsters are the people who will find bad, who will moan, who will complain, and wherever they go, they will try to create some damage. ठीक है? हाँ, कुछ भी कह लो, है ना? So इतना दे देखे दुनिया च कदी लोग? या सारे ने देखे होने इतना रिदा जारे देखते हैं. ते गुरु नानक सच्चे पातशाह ने मेरी इन्हां दी गल कीती है. कित्थे कीती है? तुसी रोज पढ़दे हो, that's a clue. You read this every day. Marj has spoken about this as well. In Japji Sahib, that's the next clue. हाँ, असंख मूरख, अंधकोर, असंख चोर, असंख असंख गालवड, असंख पापी, असंख कूड़ियार, असंख मलेच, असंख निंदक, नानक नीच वारिया न जावा, जो तुद भावै तू सदा सलामत. हुण उत्थे गुरु साहब ने क्या भी कोई मिस ना हो जाए, जो संख ਦੀਆਂ ਤਿੰਨੋਂ ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਜੋ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਆਮ ਜਸਟ ਕੋਟਿੰਗ ਦੈਟ ਵਨ ਟੁਡੇ, ਕਿ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲਸੋ ਅ ਕੈਟੇਗਰੀ ਆਫ ਪੀਪਲ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕਾਊਂਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. ਪਰ ਵੈਨ ਯੂ ਗੋ ਇਨਟੂ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਆਫ ਦਿਸ ਬੋਡੀ, ਦੇਰ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਬਿਗਰ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਦੈਨ ਓਨਲੀ ਦਿਸ, ਪਰ ਆਲ ਜਸਟ ਕੋਟ ਦੈਟ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਟੁਡੇ. ਸੋ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਦ ਅੱਗੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਰਸ. ਸੋ ਹੂ ਆਰ ਦ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਰਸ? ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ? ਹਾਂ, ਗਿਵ ਐਂਡ ਟੇਕ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਯੂ ਡੂ ਗੁੱਡ ਟੂ ਮੀ, ਆਈ ਡੂ ਗੁੱਡ ਟੂ ਯੂ. You do bad to me, I'll do bad to you, because I'm a trader. ठीक है? ठीक है? ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਫ 'ਚ? Have you experienced that? Or not, don't only think about others, think about yourself as well. Okay, when do you do good to others? Because they have done good to you. Or they've given you £10 sagan, so you have to go and give £10 sagan as well now. The typical example, right? ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਈ ਸੀ, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਾ. ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੇ, ਮੇਰੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ ਸੀ. ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ. So for example, right? So ਇਹ ਵੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕੋਟ ਮਦੇਕੋ ਵਿਰਲਾ ਸੇਵਕ ਹੋਰ ਸਗਲੇ ਬਿਵਹਾਰੀ. So there is only rare who is a real selfless sevak, as in servant. ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ? Everyone is a trader. ਹੋਰ ਸਗਲੇ ਬਿਵਹਾਰੀ. So ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੋਟ ਮਦੇਕੋ ਵਿਰਲਾ ਸੇਵਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹ rare ones, ਵਿਰਲਾ means rare ones. They are the next ones, the third category. So ਉਹ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਉੱਤਮ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ, ਐਕਸੀਲੈਂਟ. ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ. ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ, ਨਾਟ ਦ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ, ਪਰ ਲਾਈਕ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਦਾ ਵਰਡ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? ਸੋ ਇਹ ਕੌਣ ਨੇ? ਸੋ ਦਇਆ ਦੇਵਤਾ ਖਿਮਾ ਜਪ ਮਾਲੀ ਤੇ ਮਾਨਸ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ. ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਦੇਵਤਾ ਕੌਣ ਹੈ? ਦੇਵਤਾ ਇਜ਼ ਲਾਈਕ ਅ ਡੇਟੀ. ਕੌਣ ਹੈ? ਦਇਆ, ਕੰਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਇਜ਼ ਦੇਅਰ ਡੇਟੀ. ਖਿਮਾ ਕੀ ਸੀ? Forgiveness. Forgiveness is their japmali. Japmali ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ? You know the rosary people do, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਸੋ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਮੰਤਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮਾਲਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ. ਸੋ ਖਿਮਾ is their japmali. So what is What is the purpose of that mala? That actually they live by forgiveness. They don't only say forgiveness, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਪਦੇ ਨੇ forgiveness ਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ you can't jump forgiveness, can you? ਜਪਣ ਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ that your life becomes forgiveness. Those who do that, ਤੇ ਮਾਨਸ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ. They are the uttam ones. They are the excellent ones. They are then ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਰਲਾ ਸੇਵਕ. Are you with me? Yeah, those who don't understand Gurmukhi, is it making sense thodi? Yes, no? Please do ask if it goes a little bit udan deep. So these are the people who do pala of others, who do good to others as well. Doesn't matter what they do. So this is that category. So before we go to the next slide, a simple reflection. Feel free to write on a piece of paper or ask yourself, which category you see yourself? So this is your honest reflection with your own self. I'll give you a moment to, I'll pause, so ask yourself. Hurki? It's very hot, Allah do. Utte jaake na, it's very hot. So don't get, that's fine, Allah do. Hanji, you had a moment? Hanji, I think that's enough time. Anybody wants to share? Then feel free to share. If not, then I'll leave it with you. Okay, yeah, whatever it is. Just be honest with yourselves. Vaheguru. Just be honest with yourselves. Whatever you feel, you can tell yourself. You have discussed amongst each other as well. And you could, I sensed something that somebody was saying you could be like all of that at times. As in like one day you could be this, one day you could be this. The other times you could be this as well. Idda bhi hunda? I don't know. So just ask yourself. And when you go home, you can take this as a apna homework as well, okay, to reflect. So today I was trader, like yesterday I was monster, right? Tomorrow my hope is to be uttam. Yeah, just have that pure, honest inner reflection every day with you. Theek hai ji? Shall we go on? Keep going? Yeah? Okay. So now we all have our daily battles, right? Life is up and down, things happen, people say things, people do stuff to us. How easy do you think it is for you to navigate this virtue of forgiveness in your day-to-day life at this stage of time, at this stage of life?
Yeah.
Do you say hard or Hanji?
I feel very trapped in forgiveness because on the one hand I understand that person is in pain and they're struggling, but when they're not willing to change their behaviour, my understanding can turn to anger. So I could fluctuate between my own frustration and trying to see their perspectives. I feel quite torn.
Okay. You said something before I forget, so that's why I'm making a note. Willing to change behavior. Okay, so we will probably either cover this in Q&A maybe, if we don't cover that during the session, because this is vital part of forgiveness in some sense. ठीक है, thank you. हाँ जी, होर किसे दा कोई point? So ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਸਾਡੀ हाँ जी, sorry ਭੈਣ ਜੀ.
I feel that it's evoking feelings within me, and those are that I don't feel because I'm not good at forgiving. I feel like in Guruji's eyes, I failed or I'm fallen, and that makes me feel not good about myself.
Okay, so failed in Guru's eye. So, yeah. ठीक है, thank you. Yeah, they're both more or less related as well. So who is our inspiration? Think that kind of thoughts, emotions will keep coming. Yeah, one day you might have been uttam, like excellent. Next day something happened and you couldn't control and you acted like a monster. Yeah, let's face the reality. Okay, so how can we? That's reality. Okay, कोई ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. Okay, until we face and accept and recognize our reality, we can never learn, we can never move on, because we will keep covering it, we'll keep putting parda on it, है ना? कि है ही नहीं, कोई problem ही नहीं है. Until we accept the problem, how can you go to doctor and how can you get the medicine? People say, I don't have a problem. So साडा doctor कौन है? Who is our doctor? Our guru, our Shabad guru is our doctor, है ना? And there is every kind of medicine there. So for the daily inspiration that you can take home is, which you already have, is Frida Bureda Palakar Gussa Man Dehi Rog Na Lag Gai Palle Sab Kich Paye. And this is very well quoted pangtiyan, but there are some here sare ਆਪਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ discuss ਕਰ ਲੈਣੇ, so that nobody goes home and they were saying, look, what does this mean? ਫਰੀਦ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਹੈਗਾ, ਬੁਰੇ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਕਰ. In literal terms, do good to bad. Those who have done bad to you, you still do their pala, do good to them. ਗੁੱਸਾ ਮਨ ਨਾ ਹੰਡਾਏ. ਇੱਥੇ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ forgive them. It's the next step, right? You're not only forgiving them and leave them alone. If needed be, you are doing their pala. You are even doing something for ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ. It's like if somebody says to you again, think of somebody who has done something wrong to you, and if I say to you, okay, try doing ardas for them. Try doing ardas for them in a sense ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕੋਈ ਰੁਕਿਆ, maybe their business is not going ahead or they're suffering from ill health. So then ask yourself that how comfortable. It's so easy to just say that I will do it, but going into that process, engaging yourself in that process, कि ਉਹਦੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਨੀ, try that. And then see how you feel. I can see the smiles, I can see the nodding कि नहीं. Yeah. So ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਬੁਰੇ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਕਰ. ਭਲਾ ਤੇ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ, if we can't do anything physically, then at least we can sit wherever we are and do ardas for that person. ਨਿਕਲਦੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ? Does he feel like you are giving something out of your pocket to that person? ਅਰਦਾਸ ਤਾਂ, we have done ardas in front of Guru Sahib, ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ. ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਦੇਣਾ? But we are still so conjuice, we can't even do ardas. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ. Whatever the reason is. Yeah, we have to find the reason. ਪਰ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, if you want to listen to ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਬੁਰੇ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਕਰ. ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਮਨ ਨਾ ਹੰਡਾਏ. What is ਹੰਡਾਣਾ means? Yeah, as in little Punjabi ਚ ਕੀ ਕਹੋਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਹੰਡਾਣਾ? Yeah, to wear out, yeah. So it's like if you have a favorite suit, you wear that every place until that's like ਮੋਰੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ. ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਸੂਟ, ਕੋਈ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ. ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ? You wear it too often, yeah, or every day. So ਗੁੱਸਾ ਮਨ ਨਾ ਹੰਡਾਏ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ, ਕਿ like ਗੁੱਸਾ almost become me. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹੰਡਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਪਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ. If you are able to do this, that you do good to bad and don't handa the gussa, the anger, because they are both related, है ना? If you are angry, you can't do pala. ठीक है? जे pala कर लिया, you can't be angry. So it can't work hand in hand. फिर ਕੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ? ਦੇਹੀ ਰੋਗ ਨਾ ਲੱਗਈ ਪੱਲੇ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਪਾਏ. Again, ਦੇਹੀ rog means disease, any sort of suffering. Nothing can even touch you, because this is the beginning of all the rogs. She said, he said, they did, why, that happened to me, all of that. ਦੇਹੀ ਰੋਗ ਨਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਪੱਲੇ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਪਾਏ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਗੁਣ ਨੇ ਨਾ, all the virtues that divine has given us, the only way to keep them ਪੱਲੇ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਪਾਏ is by living like this. Otherwise we will go into anger, jealousy ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ, hatred ਹੋ ਜੂਗਾ, and then we are losing all of our gun holi. So one thing leading to many other things. So Marj gives that inspiration कि doesn't matter ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ. And if you look at history, how many examples do we have in history where Marj forgave? ठीक है? Everybody knows about Sajjan Thag, right? So Sajjan Thag was the person, Thag means in English? Robber? चोर ਤਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ thief. Thug, हाँ? की? जो भी हैगा ਦੱਸ ਦਿਓ ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ, I can't say it. So that thug. So when you are looting others and then killing them, right? That was the plan of Sajjan Thug, right? To have everything, physical things from Guru Nanak Sache Pasha ji and Bhai Mardana ji, because when he looked at their faces, they looked so radiant, and he said, they have all the diamonds and everything in the world, so I'm not going to let go of them. I'm going to loot everything that they have in their possession. But it doesn't look like easy, they're not giving away. So he used all these tactics, right, offer good food, send nice, beautiful women, anything that they could entice them. And Marjan had food, nothing at all. And okay, Sonjo, go to sleep this night, because you see, when they go to sleep, then I'll just slit their throats and take everything and throw them in the well, because he had a well where he used to throw all the dead bodies. So just reiterating the story, I know you know it. But then Marjan ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਸੌਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਬੰਦਗੀ ਚ ਬੈਠਾ, we're going to meditate whole night. And that is when they sang the Shabad, and then the Sajjan Thug changed to Bhai Sajjan. So with one Shabad, he had that realization that actually the real Sajjan means the friend is not somebody like me, but the one who actually, as Maharaj is saying through that Shabad, ਤੇ ਉਹ Sajjan Thug ਨੂੰ Maharaj ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਨਾ ਸੀ. Like didn't sana him, right? Complete forgiveness. And today when we remember Sajjan Thug, we don't remember him as Sajjan Thug, but we remember him as one of the Gursikhs of Guru Sahib, who changed, and not only changed, but he was the Pracharak and the one who set up the Dharamshal for anybody to come and actually have that space, as you can say, Gurdwara, and do the message of Guru Nanak Sache Pasha ji. So he became Pracharak. We should call him with respect, hai na? Bhai Sajjan ji. And there are many other examples. Guru Har Rai Sache Pasha ji gave the medicine, with the rare medicine from his garden, to his own enemy's son. Oh, my story nahi jana hun because I haven't got the time. But think about it, that it was all acted there. So there's different ways of forgiving as well. Sometimes we do it for other, okay? And you do it for yourself. Again, I would like you to reflect, if you want to forgive someone, are you thinking of doing it for the other, as in that person? मैं ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ, or you're doing it for yourself? मैं ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਲਈ ਕਰਨਾ. Because there is a difference, massive. So with the other, it first of all will be very difficult. Because why shall I forgive? They have to come and say sorry. Yeah, they always do this, and much more. It feels like a favor. I'm doing a favor on them by forgiving. Likely to hold on to that. You have said, I forgive you, but you haven't. Yeah, you're waiting for something else to happen. And expectations from other. So Penji, this one. Willing to change behavior. Jida tusi kya siga? Okay, I have forgiven them, but I'm expecting from them to change their behavior. Hana, why? So that covers that point. In that way, you are probably thinking you're forgiving, but you're doing it for other. Yeah, and how long it will last. When you do it for yourself, that is when you feel easy and smooth. This is when you feel free. You were saying it, that you feel free, you set yourself free, you feel liberated. There's no favor. अपने आप ते favor थोड़ी कोई करता है. Favor हमेशा दूसरे बंदे ते कोई करता है. You don't do favors on yourself, do you? I've given yourself shower, I gave you roti, yeah, right, I made you cha. But when we do that for somebody else, ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਜਤਾਨੇ ਆ? So ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਉਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ expectations ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ. And guess what? Those expectations are not going to be fulfilled. ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਹੋਈਆਂ? You said to other person, okay, I'll forgive you today, provided you do that next time, or you act like this next time. They will try, I'm sure, if they love you or you have a good connection. पर वो भी बेचारे मजबूर हैं अपनी आदत तो, right? As you are as well, right? So those expectations are going to fail you again. And this point, you can set a scene willing to change them if you've forgiven them, but there's no guarantee. And that is not part of forgiveness. That is a deal. Okay? If we are going to live by the definition from Gurbani. And then here, you complete let go. ठीक है, and there's much more, so just few pointers for you to remember. Now I don't need to go deeply into this slide because you have probably heard this many times, the benefits of forgiveness. Do you feel there are benefits of forgiveness? Anybody feel there's no point of forgiving? There might be, and you're absolutely right if that is your feeling as well. That's fine.
Detachment comes with forgiveness.
Hanji?
Detachment.
Hanji?
Would you say that comes hand in hand with forgiveness?
Depends, detaching from what thing. So for me, my understanding is forgiveness is not a process with other. There's nobody involved. It's a one-way process. It's not a two-way process. The minute it becomes two-way, it's not forgiveness. It's like, okay, traders. Yeah, that's why forgiveness can be difficult. And that's why forgiveness is a virtue of divine. And we will discuss that further. But detach kire to hona hai. Detachment of ego. Ego ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ detach ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ego ਨੂੰ ਪਛਾਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. So we can become aware of our ego. ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ? ਹਉਮੈ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਛਾਣਨਾ ਨਾ, ਹਉਮੈ ਬੁੱਝੈ ਤਾਂ ਦਰ ਸੂਝੈ. ਬੁੱਝੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਪਛਾਣਨਾ. When you start recognizing what is this ego thing and how is this ego making me dance like a puppet. So you become aware of it. Ego will still be there, but you're not prepared to dance at it anymore. Yeah, you can call it detachment, maybe. Yeah, give it whatever name. So, if anybody feels there is no feather of forgiveness, that's fine as well. But I put only a few. There are many, many, many more. Right? But at the end, the two which stands out for me is liberation. And again, we will open that liberation from what? And most importantly, divine-like. But Gurbani says it, not me. And we'll see Maharaj ki kehande hai na. So, I see forgiveness as a gift. Imagine you didn't have the power to forgive. So somebody has done something wrong to you. But Akal Purakh hasn't given you power to forgive. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ ਮਾਫ. Imagine the world right now. ਇਹ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਸੀਗੀ. Imagine this universe. It will be rotten completely. ਹੋ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿ this will be a balanced cosmos. So this is the reason I felt when I was writing this, forgiveness is a gift. It's one of the most beautiful gifts Akal Purkh has given to all of us. You have this really intense power within you to change the world. And only those who are powerful souls can use this gift. ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਔਖਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ. ਹੈ ਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਔਖਾ. ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਸੋ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਖਿਮਾ ਗਹੀ ਸੱਚ ਸੰਚਿਓ ਖਾਇਓ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਨਾਮ. ਖਰੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਭਈ ਅਨੰਦ ਸੂਖ ਬਿਸਰਾਮ. ਅੱਗੇ ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਖਿਮਾ? ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ? ਫੋਰਗਿਵਨੈਸ. ਖਿਮਾ ਗਹੀ ਸੱਚ ਸੰਚਿਓ ਖਾਇਓ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਨਾਮ. ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਖਿਮਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਲਿਵਿੰਗ in that path of, on the path of that truth, but this has become your amrit naam as well. ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਿਮਾ ਹੈ, forgiveness is also like ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਮ. ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਜੀਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ almost ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਪਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ through. So it's like say today you were able to forgive someone. ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਾ ਸੋਚੋ ਕਿ that's gone waste. You cannot forgive without inviting divine within. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਗੁਣ ਹੀ divine ਦਾ. So ਐਜ਼ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ, ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਅਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੱਚ ਦੇ ਰਾਹ 'ਤੇ ਤੁਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ. ਖਰੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਭਈ ਅਨੰਦ ਸੁਖ ਬਿਸਰਾਮ. ਐਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਯੂ ਬਿਕਮ ਦ ਪਰਸਨ ਹੂ ਇਜ਼ ਰੈਡੀ ਟੂ ਇੰਜੋਏ ਦ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਆਫ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ. ਸੋ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ ਬਾਈ ਲਿਵਿੰਗ ਲਾਈਕ ਦਿਸ, ਬਾਈ ਇਨਵਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਦਿਸ virtue of forgiveness in them. And I feel it's a blessing. We are blessed souls. We are able to do that. ਹੁਣ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ when forgiveness ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ? You're angry. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? When you're angry, what sort of words we use? What sort of tones we use? What sort of body language we have? ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ? ਬਕਵਾਸ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ? You have heard the word or not? ਹਾਂ, ਬਕਾ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਤੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਬਕ ਬਕ ਨਾ ਕਰ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ? ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਖਿਮਾ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਬੱਕੇ ਨਾ ਬੋਲਦਾ, ਉਹ ਗੁੱਸੇ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਦਾ। ਕਿੰਨਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, how much damage do we all do this, right? ਬੋਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ because we are angry and we don't want to forgive, we are not letting go of things, ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ and then because of sometimes we don't want to say things that we say, but because of anger ਕਹਿ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ, right? If we let go then we don't do ਬਕ ਕਿ ਮਰਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬੱਕਾ ਨਾ ਬੋਲਾ, ਖਿਮਾ ਧਨ ਸੰਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਹੈ। Those who are engaged in forgiveness, in khima, they don't ਬੱਕੇ ਨਾ ਬੋਲਾ, ਉਹ ਗਲਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਕਿੰਨੀ ਇੱਕ ਸਟੈਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ। ਕਿਹੜਾ ਖਿਮਾ ਦਾ ਧਨ ਸੰਗ੍ਰਹਿ, ਧਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੈਲਥ, ਸੰਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਮੀਨਸ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕਰਨਾ। what kind of wealth do they accumulate? wealth of forgiveness, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਤਾਮਸ ਨਾਮ ਜਲਾਏ। ਤਾਮਸ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਥੱਲੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤਾਮਸ is anger, so they burn away their anger with ਨਾਮ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਕਿਹੜਾ ਨਾਮ, forgiveness, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ you are manifesting that forgiveness ਹੈ ਨਾ through ਨਾਮ। ਧਨ ਗਿਰਹੀ ਸੰਨਿਆਸੀ ਜੋਗੀ ਜੇ ਹਰ ਚਰਨੀ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਏ। whether you are a householder, whether you are yogi, sannyasi, doesn't matter who you are, if you are living by forgiveness, that is when you are able to fix your mind on God's feet through forgiveness. So Maharaj is telling us again and again, it's just few panktiyan, there's probably many more, much more khajana with that. Okay, so question for you again. In your opinion, who deserves forgiveness? So ask yourself just for a moment. So ask yourself, who deserves forgiveness? Hanji. Even if they have damaged your life and they have really done wrong things to you?
I find it hard to actually do it, but I think actually everybody deserves
it. Ask yourself now, okay, flip that question. Do you deserve forgiveness? Yes. Why? Badi cheti, yes. So it depends. Does it depend on situation both sides? If it depends on situation that side, then it should depend on situation that side as well. So if they can only be forgiven based on situation, then realistically we can only be forgiven based on situation as well. Agreed? Yeah, so forgiveness doesn't only mean forgiving others. So all this context, don't only think about other. You have to forgive yourself in order to have the capacity to forgive others as well. Okay, Gurmat ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ duality ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ। Gurmat ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ there is no other. There is ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਗੱਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ। So I'm talking from that context, that when we have the duality, when we haven't forgiven, that is when the other is. When you haven't forgiven yourself, then you have your other as well. You have your divine part, you have your non-divine part, if there is such word, because you're holding something to it. क्यों नहीं माफ कर सक रहे? पूछना पड़ेगा। हाँ जी।
At the start of your talk, you were saying that it depends on what the perpetrator has done to you. So as much as it might be something as trivial as that is, but if it is, as you were saying, someone has caused someone or inflicted physical harm, then often if you're reading literature around moving on, often they will say it's better to move away from negative energy and to move yourself away from that person or that situation. So in those type of situations, is it about forgiveness or is that all about self-preservation and saying, although forgive kardo, isn't it more about your well-being then? I'm just asking.
Yeah, so you mentioned, you answered almost yourself. You said move away from that energy. Are we then moving away from that person? What if that person is now saint-like?
I don't know.
Yeah, so we're doing vichar. So what if the person is like Rab de guno ch sare aa gaye ne? So are we, who we don't like? I understand we don't like that existence because they have done something wrong. But who is it that we don't like? That body or that energy or that act that they have done. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਚੱਕੀ ਉਹ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਚੱਕੀ ਸੀ? Because that might be your next question. If forgiveness is everything, then why Maharaj ਨੇ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਿਉਂ ਚੱਕੀ? ਜੰਗਾਂ ਜੁੱਧਾਂ 'ਚ ਕਿਉਂ ਗਏ? Why there were battles? ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? So we need to understand that battles ਕਦੋਂ ਆਈਆਂ, ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਰਾਈਟ, ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, everything peacefully. And at the end as well, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੇਗ ਵੀ ਚੱਕੀ, as in sword was picked up, what was the reason behind it? Look, we have tried everything, we are not hating anybody or anything, but we need to finish that part which is creating the toxicity in this universe. It's like this. Say somebody has some disease in the body, right? They go to doctor. So doctor says to them that it is spreading in your body now, right? It's only in your hand at the moment. If I don't cut your hand, it will soon spread in your body and you will die. The poison or the toxicity is being spread. What will you say to doctor? Cut my hand. And you will say, thank you doctor, right, for cutting my hand. Why? Yeah. So Guru Sahib ne ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਚੱਕੀ ਉਹ ਇਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ, to cut that spread of the poison, that toxicity, that we don't want it to be spread in the rest of the world. But I don't hate you, my hand, but because of you, you're going to make me die. Does that make sense? So you can separate from that physical entity, no problems with that. But it's, remember what I said in the beginning, it's about what you want to do for yourself. And whatever that takes you to go away or stay there, do it. Because your intuition will tell you what's the right thing for you to do. As long as you feel that you are not holding on to those things and you are able to live like divine. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸੀ? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸੀ?
I know what you said. I was thinking, I'll speak for myself because it's different for other people, but I get really stuck in my thoughts if I think, oh, but do they deserve forgiveness? And I like, because sometimes it's very clear to you this person deserves forgiveness, they've repented, they changed, or they've become a saint.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, especially when, it comes to things like abuse, particularly when someone's carrying on, I don't think they deserve forgiveness, but you're forgiving for yourself. And so for me, it's a redundant question because it doesn't help me to consider whether they deserve forgiveness or not. It has to be, and then you don't get caught up in that way.
Yeah, and that's the crux of today's talk, that who do you forgive for? So is it a favor on them or favor on your own self? And let's just open that up a little bit more. I've got 10 more slides, but I'm not sure whether we'll get through that. But anyway, so who deserves forgiveness? We're talking about somebody who has done big mistake, they don't deserve forgiveness, right? But then Maharaj says that Pullan andar sabko apul guru kartar. Everyone makes mistakes. Every single one of us makes mistakes. ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ forgive ਕਰਦੇ ਨਾ because they made a mistake. ਸਿਰਫ ਦੋ ਬੰਦੇ ਗਲਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਇੱਕ ਗੁਰੂ ਇੱਕ ਕਰਤਾਰ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? Only Guru and a Akal Purukh doesn't make mistake. All of us make mistake. If all of us make mistake, that means either we all deserve to be forgiven or we all don't deserve to be forgiven. Hanji Panji.
I'm wondering what Gurmat says about destiny and forgiveness. Because if there is somebody in your life who you know you were destined to be with, and that person hurt you really, really badly, but you know kind of God brought you together, how do you get your head around that, and what does Gurmat say about it?
That's another topic, full-fledged topic. I'm happy to go into that, but I will not be able to finish this one then.
Sorry.
Yeah, but if that helps you, it won't do justice, I think, if I answer it on a superficial level. But in a simple terms, again, whether you're destined or not destined, if you understand why you're forgiving and who are you forgiving, what's the purpose of forgiving? Is it for your own soul or other people who are destined to be with you? That could be your colleague, right? Then you change the job. Now, is it colleague? It's a big smile. It could be a Gawandi, like your neighbor. It could be somebody very close in your family that you can't even leave easily. Yeah? Like if it was your colleague, you might change a job.
But how do you forgive God for bringing this person into your life?
How do you forgive God?
Yeah, but if he brought you together and they caused you a world of pain, how do you forgive God for bringing that person into your life?
So is it God who inflicted that pain? That's the first question. So you two are sitting together, right? There could be some families here together. We all have issues in the family, right? Is it God who is creating that pain or us lot? God has given you awareness to live life like God.
Doesn't God create destiny?
No, you create your destiny. 100% you create your destiny. Otherwise, why have you come to the Gurdwara? Destiny is all written that you're going to be all gangsters. Yeah? Why you come to the Gurdwara? Why do you invite those divine virtues? Why do you wake up in the morning? Why do you do good things? And the Gurmat, Sikhi is the marg, the path of effort. Yeah? You sow, you reap. If it's already given, then I can technically sow whatever, because I'm going to reap the same thing. Does that make sense? But that is, I'm not doing justice to this topic though, because we'll talk about that later. ਅੱਗੇ ਚਲੀਏ ਆਪਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਇਹ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਭੁੱਲਣ ਅੰਦਰ ਸਭ ਕੋ we all make mistakes. So another question, I've heard this as well. Do only weak people forgive? Or because if I forgive you, I'll be seen as a weak people. ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਮਾਫੀ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਨਾ, you should have taken revenge. You're very weak. Have you heard this? Have you ever thought, if I say it's okay or if I forgive, then the person will misuse me? Yeah? They'll do the same thing again. It could be the other side of the same coin as well. So do only weak people forgive or seek forgiveness even? If I come and say, Paji, I'm really sorry for doing something wrong to you, does that make me like low? And that does that make you superior and does that make me inferior? Because that's the notion that that's one of the reasons, because my ego gets hurt as soon as I say sorry, if I really mean sorry. If you really mean sorry, it's hard to go and say sorry. I'm sorry. Mostly when kids fight, what do? Say sorry. And they say sorry. How do they say sorry? I'm sorry. Do they even mean sorry, right? Do we even give them time to acknowledge their emotions sometimes and go through it, and then they thode thande hoke, okay, I'm sorry, I was being, right? So I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that. But sorry ta hundi nahi. Hunda na idda. Anyway, so actually in reality it's opposite. It's exactly opposite. It requires courage and bravery to forgive. मैं पहला कह सी ना सिर्फ शक्तिशाली रूहां ही माफ कर सकदियां. Only those who are blessed, strong souls, only they can forgive. Others can't. बाकी बहुत weak हो जाता काम. It's such a powerful virtue. Those who, it's like the weapon, right? You can see it as like a powerful, positive weapon to forgive. And not everybody can handle that. But Marj is giving us that actually, my son, my daughter, I'm telling you how to handle this. I give you this weapon to all of you. Use it. Yeah, it will help you in your life. So it takes courage and bravery. It requires divinity. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that any of you can't do it. As I said earlier, it's your choice. If you choose today, who's going to stop you? Okay. So, आ पंक्ति बहुत ज़्यादा पावरफुल है related to this. सारियां पंक्तियां पावरफुल है by the way. कबीरा जहाँ ज्ञान तह धर्म है, जहाँ झूठ तह पाप, जहाँ लोभ तह काल है, जहाँ खिमा तह आप. So again, it could be a full-fledged lecture on these two पंक्तियां, but let's just unpack it. जिथे ज्ञान है, उथे धर्म है. Where there is a knowledge, where there is a wisdom, that is where धर्म is. धर्म, that discipline is, how to live life. Where there is झूठ मतलब falsehood, that's where पाप, that's where sin is. We are not living the life of truth. जहाँ लोभ तय काल है, where there is greed, that's where काल means that death, like the suffering कह लो. And where there is khima, तह आप, where there is forgiveness, who is there? Vaheguru lives there. So in your heart, if there is forgiveness, then Vaheguru lives within your heart. Isn't that so powerful? And maybe that's why we find it so hard. But Maharaj has told us, that, look, if you are one of those who are able to practice this, then your heart is clean enough for me to come and live there. Hanji.
Does that also mean that when you forgive yourself, that God is there as well?
100%. तुसी कोई और थोड़ी हो. If one person is so loving to Akal Purakh, so are you. Never see yourself as somebody other. And don't give yourself so much importance as well. We feel this way that I can't forgive myself because we have given ourselves undue importance. Why? ਜੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਤਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ? Who is stopping us? But we have made like a big thing because it's me, so I can't forgive myself. Because we see ourselves something me, like a big entity.
And we have to stop hurting before we can forgive, I'm guessing.
Yeah, take your time, and we're coming to that point now. Yeah. So as in, you have to sometimes acknowledge, recognize, engage with these emotions before you're ready to forgive. And if that's the reason I said to you, forgiveness is a choice. If I say to you, no, Pej, you have to forgive right now, you might say, okay, but you haven't, processed the emotions. But the only question I have is, how long do we need?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you.
Because is there any guarantee that I have 6 months left? I have 3 months left, I have 3 days left, I have 3 hours left, or 3 minutes left, or 3 seconds, maybe even not that. How long do we need? And is that a choice again? I don't know the answer, by the way. You have to, because everybody will be different. Is that a choice, how long I need to process? Then the next thing is, what will it take for me to process now? Also, you can take long, but be prepared that your baggage is going to get bigger and bigger, and you're going to get heavier and heavier. And the bigger the baggage, the more time and effort it will take to unload. If smaller baggage, easy. Bigger baggage, little bit more difficult. But nothing is impossible.
So the longer you hold on to it,
It's like this, है ना?
it's heavier.
है ना? तुसी हुणे करके देख लो glass सारे को पे ना. If I ask you to hold this for 30 seconds, fine. And if I ask you to hold this now for 1 minute, you're going to swap. Yeah? If half an hour, 2 hours, a day, you're going to paralyze your arm. Glass तो होना किसी का ना?
Everybody's pain threshold is different.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
I was about to say the same thing because I saw a video and it was like this. When you hold a glass, you can't hold for a long time.
Yeah.
You get a pain like a numb in your hand. It's like if you are holding something against someone, you're not hurting that person, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah, 100%. It's they say like in order to for me to throw a fireball on someone, I have to burn my hand myself ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੱਥ ਸਾੜਾਂਗੇ ਫਿਰ ਹੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਗ ਸੁੱਟਾਂਗੇ ਉਹ ਸਾੜੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਸੁੱਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ you can't throw a fireball on someone else without burning your own hand but what we see is I can see you burning because of the fireball but I can't see my hand burning and that's the piteous thing that has happened to humankind ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪ ਸੜਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖ ਰਿਹਾ
That's because of the
anger, ego, whatever. Because, and also, maybe what we receive ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਖ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਆਪਣਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਦਿਖਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਸੜ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਸੌਰੀ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸੀ
So I was just going to say, I mean, it's good using these analogies, but I mean, just like a real life example is like, say, family members might be feuding. I mean, if like, say, for example, it's 2 brothers, which has been a situation in my own family, they had an argument for a long time, and then one of them passed away.
Why
You
then?
can't go back and make that up or do anything about it. And I've seen that person very, very distraught for a very long time. You know, so like, just
yeah
going back to that whole point about getting those issues.
how
sorted
long
out,
yeah
putting that forgiveness out there, getting it sorted so you can actually at least live the rest of your life because you never know what's going to
Yeah.
happen around the corner.
That's the worst thing to happen to anyone, to be honest. Absolutely, the punishment that you feel in yourself, oh, I wanted to say sorry to them, but they're gone. And you're never ever going to see them again. Right? Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. But that's the extreme thing. And that has happened to so many people. कि वो चला गया भाਵੇਂ colleague ही होए ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ so think again कि yes we need to process it but then how long है ना and this was the fact that I thought it deserves a full slide that you do not forgive for others but for yourself you are not forgiving somebody and saying मैं ਤੈਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਤਾ actually ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਹਾਂ ਸ਼ੁਕਰ ਹੈ I'm light now I'm done something for myself and if that needs processing process it but don't take whole life for it ठीक है if you need a therapist, if you need to go and speak to somebody, I'm going to share a few things anyway. So our aim is, ना को मेरा दुश्मन रहा, ना हम किसके बैराई. दुश्मन क्या होता है? Enemy, है ना? बैरा मतलब कोई stranger. No one is my enemy, no one is my stranger anymore. ठीक है गुरबाणी ब्रह्म पसार पसारियो भीतर सतगुर ते सोजी पाई सबको मीत हम आपन कीना हम सबना के साजन दूर परायो मन का बिरहा ता मेल कियो मेरा राजन. So in crux ना मेरा कोई फ्रेंड है तो ना ही मेरा कोई एनिमी है. So I'm in a sad state because if I say somebody is my friend that means that there is somebody who is my enemy as well. सारे एक ही ने, they're all divine souls created by Vaheguru and I'm part of that as well. So this is our aim, Marj Kirpa Karan. But how and why, we haven't even started that. But anyway, we'll skim through quickly through that. So we started from there and I think that's, why do I need to do that? Because I want to set myself free. I'm a sovereign being created by sovereign creator. I don't need to live by chains in my feet and hands and mind. I'm not a prisoner of my own mind. Because Maharaj is telling me every day, man jeeta hai, man jeeta hai, man jeeta hai. That's the only way you're going to jag jeet. Okay? But at the moment I have chains everywhere. She said, he said, they did. I know they did really bad. But actually, I don't allow anymore my mind, my energy, my time or remote control of my life in their hands. At the moment it is. They press the button and I dance. I'm going to cut those chains today. I'm going to let go. And that is what sets me free. I want to be free. And I want to experience what that means, what that feels like. So you're not forgiving anyone for anyone. You're just forgiving for yourself. That's at least my understanding. What things you can do on a day-to-day basis? Just very quickly, because it doesn't need much more explanation, is one thing you can do is, if something has done you something wrong, at the end of the day, you come journal. Sit down. Maybe you can't talk to them. You can write your feelings. And if you want to swear at them, gaalan kadniyan unnu kad lo. It's your journal. Do whatever you want. Yeah, write, this is how I felt. Let go of your emotions. Why? You know the baggage? You don't want to increase that. Thoda da naal di naal unnu kar do, clean. Learn from each act. They did something wrong. Did I do something wrong? मेरे करके तो नहीं उन्होंने गलत किया, मेरी भी गलती हो सकती है. Other perspective. Okay, whatever happened, how can I do something? How can I learn something from that act, that event? Open your heart to other perspective. Why were they saying what they said? Why did they do what they did? Yeah. Take time, but not entire life. So that's, I thought about it. Okay, look, do we need to process our emotions? Of course we do. It could be that you just had a terrible fight. And sorry, I'm just joking. Joking nahi, mere dimag kuch aa gaya. It's like a joke. Let me just tell you anyway. It has come to me. Hopefully, it's a light mood. So my husband and wife had a really terrible fight. Really, really bad fight. Nothing new, right? So he's sitting on his phone, and she comes with a cha da cup, right? Nicely decorated on a tray. Te naal cookiyan shukiyan, and then she comes, hai na? Onu dindi hai. So she offers that to husband, and he says, oh, wow, he puts his phone down, really impressed. We had such a big drama, inni ladai hui saadi. Tu mere liye cha leke you bought a cup of tea for me? I'm really sorry. I should not have said what I said. I really was over the board. I'm really, really sorry. Bahut pyar naal, hai na? Out of loving manner. She takes the tea away. She takes the tea away. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਈ ਹੈ, ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਚਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ, ਉਹ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ. He doesn't listen. She says, no, I'll get you a nice warm cup of tea. It's थोड़ी ठंडी हो गई है. She tries, look, I'll get you another cup. This has gone a bit cold. He doesn't listen. At the end, she says, I put the rat poison into your tea. So she hasn't forgiven. So just a joke, but don't do that, please. Yeah. Yeah. But, so can you see, as soon as he said sorry, she changed. So that, obviously that's what it is, right? Why is she not letting him have it? वो तब like आई सी कि तुम मर, पर yeah. But because he said sorry, even the act was fake. Sometimes you might need to fake it to make it.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, maybe, because even though you don't feel like, try it. So you have a fight in the house, go and say sorry. See if the other person melts and see how you feel. So I'll take the question as the end. Agge chaliye. So take time out, but not entire life. So process your emotions. Write a letter. If there is a person who is not there anymore in this world, you can suggest to them, write a letter. Yeah, maybe burn it or post it somewhere. Doesn't matter. But the act of commitment sometimes help your psychology to process these emotions. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ act ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਨਾ, act ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੌਲੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਓਗੇ. You will feel lighter. And I can say so much more about every single topic, but I'm conscious of time. It doesn't need to be two-way. So don't expect this, that they will change. Forgiveness is a one-way process. Okay, whether they forgive you or not, whether they change or not, don't expect anything to change after you are forgiven. The only thing that will change is the monster which was lingering around you, they're not there anymore. You're almost lonely. Because ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦਾ ਸੀ. You had a person with you all the time 24/7 who you were. ਤੂੰ ਆ ਕੀਤਾ, ਤੂੰ ਆ ਕੀਤਾ, ਤੂੰ ਆ ਕੀਤਾ, I'm a victim, you did this, I'm a victim, you did this. You haven't got any. You might feel lonely for some time. ਥੋੜੀ ਦੇਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੱਲਾਪਨ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋਏ. But experience it and see how you feel. Forgive me for saying this, but some of us don't want to let go of that parshama, that shadow. We like it. We have almost got the comfort out of that. Because I've got somebody to blame and complain. That's a different, yeah, that's true, Vijay, that happens. That's a different part of the same thing. But that is happening as well. Yeah, visualize yourself free from that baggage. If you're able to forgive, see that thing going again, right? Talk. If you can talk to somebody, again, invest in yourself. If you need to talk to a therapist because that thing is bothering you so much, go for it. ठीक है, किन्ने पिज़्ज़े खा ले, किन्ने सूट सवा ले. This is a real work. Invest in yourself. Or talk to somebody who you can trust. Why did I put forgive others in capital? Can't remember. Forgive others. I don't know. It will come to me if it needs to. So, एक चीज़ मैं होली की सी इत्थे कि you know sometimes you're at work and you want to talk to somebody and okay, look, I don't like the way you're talking to me, this, but they are not the person you can talk to. Or this could be your mother-in-law, it could be your father-in-law, it could be a sister, brother, anyone. They say one of the psychology techniques, say I'm approaching to come and talk to you and I know you're not going to hear me. So I do my fists like this. It's like all the emotions, the gussa and everything. And I say everything, all the emotions are gathering here. And I've said to you, I know you're not going to reciprocate in a better way. And as soon as I've finished, I let go. And that's again an act of realization, not realization, release, act of release where you let go of your emotions of anger and resentment.
You mean you're pretending to talk to the person?
No, you talk to them. Oh. But if you feel that they're not...
While you're holding him knuckles? Like
no, if you feel that they're not... Sorry, no, not like that, please, don't do that. Yeah. So I'm showing you, I'm showing you like this so you can see my hands, but you're doing like obviously normal. So your focus is on your hands, that emotions are being gathered here, but you're not going to project on the other person. Yeah, and then you release because they're not going to take your projection in a better way. But you don't have to like that. They're definitely not going to hear you anyway. So this you can, other thing you can do, make a list of people, events, things that have happened to you, accept that this has happened. Pehla accept karna penda. Then express it if you can, either writing, go and talk to them if they are able to hear you. If not, then do this. Okay, release through fist, as I said. Okay, saying I forgive you doesn't necessarily mean you have forgiven. Yeah, we have discussed that. And does it need to be done straight away? You decide it. It's your choice. Okay? I'm going to skip this 4 Ds, simply coming to that. Seeking forgiveness prepares you for forgiving others as well. So if you have done something wrong, do go and seek forgiveness. Okay? That's a part and parcel of forgiving others as well. It's self and other. It's not only one thing. Okay? Not sure if you agree, but I put it there. Until you forgive yourself, can you forgive others? Because somebody was asking that earlier as well. Hai na? So ultimately is that divine love, the virtue, that man moti je gehna hove, paun hove soot thari, khima sigar kamman tan pehre rave lal pyari. So the translation is there for this. Your mind become that string and ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੌਣ ਹੈ ਮਤਲਬ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬ੍ਰੈਥ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਗਹਿਣਾ ਬਣ ਜਾਵੇ your jewelry. Khima sigar means when a bride put that kind of decoration where there's that forgiveness, that is when the bride enjoys the love of husband Lord. So Vaheguru for us. And it's inside, है ना, when you start enjoying that. It's not necessarily that you start dancing on the streets, but you are in a state of bliss, in a state of anand where you enjoy that. So we did that. Okay. So thank you very much. I'm happy to take questions if there is time. And also, if time allows, we might do 5 minutes meditation if you want to. If not, then we'll just go home. I just don't want you to go home full, as in heavy as well. Hanji Viji.
You would answer that question at the beginning about that code of things.
Okay, ठीक है, ठीक है. So you've been thinking about that, है ना? ठीक है. Okay, do you want me to do that now? Yeah. So that lady killed, murdered the boy. What happened? So this boy who was now sentenced for a long time in jail, she will go and see him every day. She will take presents. She will take things that he needs for his care every day. She will care for him. She will express her love for him. And then the day comes when he's being released. He's 17 years old. She goes and bring him to her house. अपने घर लांदी है उन्हों. घर आंदी है, उन्हों चाह पानी पिलांदी है, offers the things that he needs. And then she says, I need to talk to you. Sit down. And he sits down. And she says, do you remember that day when I said I'm going to kill you? And he says, I can never forget that day. Very clearly, I remember that. She says, I killed you. I have already killed you. You're not the same person. I killed the thing who killed my son. You can never kill somebody else in your life now. You killed my son. I haven't got anyone. I spent all of my life looking after you because I wanted to kill you. You in the sense who he was at that time. But I understand that why you did that. Not understand, I've not forgotten, but your upbringing, what was it, your perspective, I would like to adopt you. And this is a real story, by the way, in America. I would like to adopt you. I haven't got a son. You haven't got a mother. Will you like to be my son? And she adopts him and live together for the rest of their life. Yeah. I was like, whoa. Yeah. So I thought there's a lot to learn. And we have a capacity to kill the toxic things, the poison in this world as well, with our kindness, with the compassion. Any more questions from anyone?